friends, welcome to Bella Stitchery. Today I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process that I did to make this pretty thank you card. I love working with vintage elements, kind of shabby chic style. It's probably one of my favorite styles to work with. So I'm going to show you as I make another one of these cards. The first thing I did was take an 8.5 by 11 sheet paper. You can buy these in bulk at any craft store. Cut it down to a 5.25 by 5.25 inch size. You can find square envelopes for this size online. I use Die Cuts with a View envelopes. They come in, I believe, a 10 pack, and it's a great size to work with because it allows you to use a lot of fun embellishments like this. So I cut that down, and then in the essence of time, movie magic, I have my piece of cardstock already cropped as well. For this, I used one of my favorite paper brands right now, 49 in Market. I mean, come on people, this is amazing. This is Charming Rusty Autumn, and it certainly is charming. I also want to look at this back piece that I plan to use for the top to make sure I'm not gonna have pattern I don't want when I work on it and tear it. So, there you go. And this is how I tore it, because I already tore this one. I literally cut it to fit and tear it. That is the beauty of working with vintage material styles, because you kind of can't mess it up, which is why I enjoy it. So the first thing I want to do before I start gluing things down is to do my stamping. Because I'm not a great stamper and I don't trust my stamping abilities, I like to do that first in case I mess it up. I could just cut a new square. For my stamps, I like using a stamp platform. This one is by Tonic Studios, Tim Holtz. Love Tim Holtz, it's amazing. I never realized how much I needed this until I had it. And now I use it all the time because, as you can see, you'll put your paper in here, put your magnets to keep it in place, and it allows you to re-stamp in the same exact spot if the ink doesn't come through as dark as you want. I'm actually gonna straighten that out a little bit. Look at that. You can easily see what you're working on. There's a side for clear stamps, a side for rubber stamps. And it simply picks up your stamp like so. And then you ink it like so. Actually, this Stampin' Ink is pretty good, but whoops. But if you need to go over it again, you can easily do that and you're not gonna have a blurry edge from trying to line it up yourself. I mean, look at that, right? I'll put a link to this product because it has been a game changer for me for stamping in the description on this video. I highly recommend. So now that my stamping is done and perfect, I have my card ready to assemble. For this card, I love fancy stuff. So I have this lace that I have used in other videos. I bought it on eBay. I don't even know if it has a brand, but it is so pretty and it's big, which if you're working on scrapbook pages is great. And I love dyeing it. I love all kinds of stuff. So I buy this a lot. What I do for my lace, because I want it to follow this angle that I've created, is I kind of just hold it up and see to make sure it lines up around the same as it goes. See what I mean? Then I hold it in place and use the world's best invention, a glue gun. And I kind of just tack it down so that I could trim it once I have it laid out the way I want. Oh, glue guns, you're the best. Okay, so once that's done, then I could cut it. It's a very thick lace too, which is nice. And boom, it's just that easy, my friends. How cool is that? Now, since I don't need to add any lace that's going to wrap around here or a ribbon or anything like that, I can now just put this straight down. If I was going to use a ribbon, rather than having rough cut edges, I like to tuck them behind my paper before I glue this down. But in this case, all the bows are just in the middle, so we're good to go. So I'm going to just add some more glue here. Wow, that is smoking hot. And I always say that I would be a great criminal because I have no fingerprints anymore because of hot glue. It is amazing how it burns. It burns so hard. Now we could put this directly onto our card as well because it will help with stability when I'm adding all the flowers and everything. Just gives it a little bit more oomph. Perfect. Look at that. We're almost done. So for this card, I have used my favorite brand of flowers, which is Prima Marketing. Do not work for Prima Marketing, but it looks as if I have a Prima Marketing flower shop in my house. I buy all of their flowers. They come out with new lines. I just buy them like 4, 5, 10 packs at a time because I've loved everything they've made. But this in particular, this flower line, and I will put a link to this in my description tag as well because the colors on this and the size that these are gorgeous, and I wish I'd ordered more. But when you buy online, you don't always know exactly how it's gonna look till you get it. This is one of those, when I opened it, I was like, oh dang, why didn't I order like 20 of these? If you look, they're almost airbrushed. They're super great for vintage, shabby chic styles, and they're neutral enough to work with just about any project. Love these. I cannot say how much I love these. Okay, I'm working with those. My other thing, and these are also Prima Marketing, this was another fun surprise because when I got these, I was struck by how bright and colorful these are, and I actually don't work with colors like this very often, but surprisingly, I have gone through a lot of these. So I think when you take them in like little batches like this, I used on a beachy page and it was adorable. But when you look at it all, it's jarring almost. But look at these guys. These guys have kind of like a white tipped black petal, which I think really bring out the stamp on this and work nicely with the other neutrals. So that's what I selected here for these. And let's pull some petals here. My other favorite thing to do, it's kind of a new hobby of mine, is to use my Cricut to just cut out pages and pages of leaves. I load the dishwasher. I have 500 leaves done. So this is great because leaves are an amazing filler to make your card look extra special and full. You know, like when you buy a bouquet, like Albertsons, and they have a few blooms, but they have all this baby's breath and greenery. It's because it really makes a difference. So here we are, making our own little Albertsons bouquet. I like to generally lay out my flower collage before I start gluing things down, just to make sure nothing is standing out in a weird way and it all fits relatively close to the size of my card if I want it to still go in an envelope. Now, most of the cards I make actually do not fit in an envelope because they are so big. I have no problem with that. But if you really want it to fit in an envelope, just check your space here. You could even cut the card a little bit smaller if you want, so that it gives you a little more space to work with within your envelopes. Then I start just gluing down. So you can use also hot glue for this. I feel like hot glue works for everything. With hot glue though, on tiny parts, you only need a little bit because you don't want it to be super stringy. But I love that hot glue dries right away because I do not have the patience to work with glue that I have to now wait and come back to this card because everything's gonna start shifting. So I'm gonna glue down a couple of my flowers, and then I'm gonna show you how I made these bows that aren't really bows. Oh, a twist. There's a twist to the story, my friends. You may think you know how this card was done. I bet you that you have no idea how I made these bows. Okay, so I put down my basic flowers here. Okay, then for the ribbon, You can make a giant bow and just layer these on top, totally fine. I like to strategically place my loops. So in order to do that, I found what works easily for me. This is my seam binding, hand dyed, my friends. I have a tutorial on how to do that. This is hand dyed seam binding that I use for everything. I take, you see these flowers? And if you've ever bought like these mini rosettes, they all have this wire, which you probably throw away. I keep because I use them for bow making a lot. So I just cut my blooms. I actually have a little tiny bowl full of these for when I make flowers. Bows. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do your loop as if you're making a bow, okay? Cut it, just like that. Now you're gonna twist it and fold it in on itself. So look at this. Now you have what looks like a double bow, but it's only a half bow. And the reason I do that, and then look, you take your wire here, and you could buy wire in the flower section of a craft store too. But since I already have so many of these mini roses, this is just handy, and I get to use what I already have. So you do like that. You just twist it where the knot would be. And then you have this little happy double bow that you can then strategically glue down to stick out wherever you want. That's what I like. So we'll put this one up here. I just kind of tuck it under. Sometimes you may find you have to pull up what you just glued down. I do it literally all the time. No big deal. Okay, so look at that. And that way I could pick if I wanted one here, if I wanted one there. I don't necessarily have to have the matching side of it in the exact opposite section. So I'm gonna make another little one here. Again, you just do 2 loops, cut it, easy, right? Fold it over. And you can make really big loops this way too. And then you're just gonna use your wire to twist it around. I have Fred Flintstone fingers, so I don't make this look elegant in any kind of way, but it is easy. See that? So then I'm just gonna kind of lift up my roses and tuck it around there. Throw a little glue in there. Smash it in. I do a lot of smashing when I work with flowers and ribbons, and I don't know. I feel like the more you smash it, it kind of actually looks better. So there I have that, right? Now I could add some little other leaves just to give it some more fanciness. Yeah, these leaves. I actually ordered a leaf punch too. I'm super excited to use that because I love leaves. But you know, a lot of these flower packs either don't include them or they include them, but then I use them like the first project and I still have flowers left over. So I like making them too. Just kind of tuck that in there. Like so. Look at how quick and easy, right? And then I want another one maybe right here. What a sweet card. And then since I love details, that's one of my favorite things about card making, is you could use so many trinkets and charms and pearls and pins, and they're just so cute and they stand out on a card even more than on a scrapbook page because the card is so much smaller. So here is my rainbow hedgehog, as someone on Instagram called it. I buy these pins a lot, as you can tell, but they're so sweet and they make everything look just so, oh, I don't know, special? I want to say special. They're pretty easy to use. Look at that. You just poke it in. There you go. And then for these little pearls, I have another trick. If you're anything like me, I buy a lot of those swirly rhinestones in pearls. See that? But I don't necessarily use them all, and I chop them down to fit the page or whatever. So I keep these so that instead of also having to buy sheets of pearl stickers, I can just cut apart individual ones. See that? And use them as embellishments. Do a little bit of glue. Well, am I gonna go back to my glue gun here? This glue is so gummy. I don't know if anybody's used the Elmer's. It's supposed to be mixed media glue, but I don't know. I have not been a fan. I think I'm going back to my art glitter glue, which has never steered me wrong. And you're just gonna dab. Look how, let's see, is that weird? You're just gonna put your pearls around where you like. These are very tiny. But again, I would normally just throw these away. So it's nice to be able to use them, and they do add a special little happiness to your card. This glue does dry clear like most mixed media glues, so at least that's good because it is messy. I don't know why it's so messy. So, and I get messy as well. Look at this. Okay, so I'm gonna add these little guys there. And you have a super fancy card for a friend, family member. I mean, imagine getting this in the mail. That is magnificent, is it not? So special, so dimensional, so many fun things to look at on this card. And the nice thing is it's a great kind of card sketch, if you will, to use with other papers. So just to give you an example, I made this baby card in the same way. I used different trim, this little eyelet lace, which is I also love. This bow, I made the same way. It's a fake bow. More Prima marketing flowers, my same leaves, little sticker, rhinestones instead of the pearls. But as you can see, I mean, it really is a great card layout to use with so many different kinds of papers, sentiments, holidays, but it's fancy. I mean, that is fancy. And it's also really nice to use a bunch of flowers if you like making things with lots of flowers like I do. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you had fun. Please let me know if there's any other cards you'd like to see in the future, or maybe how-tos, dimensional cards, anything that you're curious to see how to make. And subscribe to my channel, ring the bell. That way you'll be notified every time I have a new video posted. And thanks for coming in. So check it out, try it out, go make some stuff. Thank you.